In this episode, we speak to Selba Gondoza-Luka. She is the CEO and founder of Afri Aus-Care. We spend the time to dive into her story on what inspires her, her mental health challenges over the years, visits to hospital, psychiatric wards, but how all of this has inspired her to do the work that she does in service of the African Australian community here in Victoria. We speak about Ubuntu, that philosophy, other African philosophies as well, and also straddling two worlds between African values, living in an Australian context as well. This is an episode that we were joyed to create with her, and we're very honoured to listen to her stories. So tune in. So, well, when we first met, it was under odd and quite tragic circumstances.
Yes.
I was in your office and a young member of your community had lost his life.
Yes.
And look, at that moment when I was sitting in the office with you and Anish, and to hear the community in such pain, I felt honoured to sit there and for you having me there and not kicking me out as well. But I've gotten to learn a lot about the African Australian community through the different work that I've done. And when I came across Afri Aus-Care, I thought, wow, how incredible.
Thank you.
But I heard through yourself before we had a chat, it was through dark times
Yes.
that you were able to bring together this organization to help others and alleviate pain
Absolutely.
in society. I'd love to find out more about your story and the Selba origin story. Where does that begin?
A little bit hard. Where do I start? Originally, I came from Malawi, 1998, following my dear husband then. The man I loved, the man I thought I would grow old with. I never thought that I could live with any other person.
Yeah.
As you know, in families, problems can happen. But little did I know that the real truth about settlement challenges, settling here in Australia, was just around the corner. So, life changed completely 2001 when I had a prem baby. She was born 6 months, at 6 months.
At 6 months, yeah. Wow.
Weighing only 2.5 kilos. She survived up to 6 months to 7 months. Then she passed away.
Oh no.
A bit, if I can go back a little bit,
Please.
when she was born at 6 months, she was left in the hospital and I went home. With the firstborn, Kwacha, it never happened like that. She was born full term, took her home, but this one, very tiny, was left in hospital. I had so many questions without answers. Little did I know, I started crying. And a friend of mine said, that's postnatal depression. In Africa, never heard of that. You hear this say, it takes a child. I mean, it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
This is very true. My older sister had a prem baby. All of us, we were there supporting her. And that baby now, she's a woman, she has her own children.
Yeah.
But because of being in Australia without mother, without father, it was just the two of us and my daughter. few friends came and they left. Started crying, and this woman said, you know what? She spoke to my ex-husband, now. This woman has postnatal depression. And I thought, what is postnatal depression? And she encouraged us to see the GP. When we saw the GP, I was put on antidepressants.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when she was 7 months old, she became sick, more sick, and she passed away. On that fateful day, 9th of December 2001, around 9 o'clock, that's when she took her last breath. Liem, can you imagine? You have depression, not eating properly, and then the little precious thing that you protect, every mother protect, a normal mother protects her children so that they can grow up. She escaped at 7 months old. That brought deep depression. At that time, I was studying at St. Albans School of Nursing. I had to take time off, and the depression was real, so deep depression. And misunderstandings at home started. You know, in Africa, mental illness is a taboo. People don't talk much about it. When you have mental illness, it's like you're an outcast. So there was some misunderstanding between us in the family. Unfortunately, it actually turned out to be a hostile home whereby verbal abuse was real. Then in 2002, I couldn't put one and one together. Wanted to commit suicide. I remember one day, couldn't think properly, took the car. I wanted to go to Westgate Bridge. As I was driving, I thought maybe under the tram, under the train. We talked about faith before.
Yes.
But then I thought, my faith tells me I cannot take my own life. But also, if I die, how about my daughter? Who will look after her? Already in the home, things are not working well. Fortunately, I admitted myself in a psychiatric ward. If you Google my name, you see Julian Hill. He talked about what I faced that time in Canberra Parliament. When he was talking about Afri Aus-Care, how it started. So anyway, from the psychiatric unit again, things were not good. I don't want to go in details.
Sure, that's okay.
But when I got out of the hospital, I continued taking medications. They were friends who helped me. There is a lady called Frank Blay, very nice woman. Another lady, Mary Drost, she's passed on. And these women supported me. Then I had to go back to school. But when I went back to school, I did my Bachelor of Nursing, completed really well. Then I went to Melbourne Uni. Then I studied postgraduate diploma in clinical mental health. I wanted to study the same disease that wanted to kill me. I wanted to understand what was wrong with me. Why were people treating me differently? Because back home, never seen anything like that. Luckily enough, I passed. Of course, the ex-husband helped. When I was studying, he was still around that time. But when I completed my course, I dived in, started working at Dumfries Frost Prison, started now forensic nursing, Port Phillip.
Forensic nursing. I've never
Correct.
heard of that before. What's
Yes,
that?
so people who work in prisons. Yes.
Yeah.
I just threw myself in the deep end. I said, I really want to know what happens to people. Then I also worked on each and every hospital in the metropolitan, from the peninsula to the northern hospital. Child and adolescent, mother baby unit, adult psychiatry, and extended care. Liam, what did I see? Young African kids who were in hospitals, psych hospitals, or in jails. Taking the history, I could see exactly what was happening in my family. Family violence, children not taken care of. Now I was thinking of my daughter. So whilst I was working, because things were not working well at home, I remember working a lot.
Yeah.
Where I could find peace was at work.
Right. Yeah.
But also that made it to be, I would say, worse with our relationship. Then the verbal abuse became real. Then in 2014, the man, in respect, I can't mention his name, Mr. Luka anyway, because I still carry his name.
Yeah. Yeah.
He left us. Liam, he didn't pay rent for the following month. He left us homeless. Mind you, I still had depression. I was working then, but things started not working well at all. And there was intergenerational conflict. Then mostly intergenerational trauma on my daughter. We could not understand each other. The man was not there. Finances were not great. Then secondly, thoughts of suicide came, and they were real. Mostly when I learned that, because he went back home, when I learned that for real, this man has left, yes, but he has married another woman. And we hadn't divorced yet.
Yeah.
And there was financial abuse. We had houses. He took 3 and left 1 house with me. That's back home. And here I was homeless. I had to live with my daughter's partner. In my culture, that's a taboo. But I had no money. What could I do? So things went from worse to worse. Seeing what I was going through and what I could see in psych hospitals and in prisons, I thought, these things are coming out of hand. At that time, I was working at Monash 2013, a federal project looking after South Sudanese young people.
Yeah.
This is where I understood that I was not alone. There were so many mothers, there were so many children from the continent of Africa who were going through settlement challenges.
Yeah.
I took my knowledge I learned at school, my lived experience, challenges with my daughter, took money from my pocket with a friend, and opened an association in 2015 with the support of the Consul for Malawi, then Trent Smythe. It was in his office where we were actually looking for the names. What shall we call this association? With the idea of supporting the people with the knowledge that I had.
Yeah.
So that's where Afri Aus-Care, meaning helping African Australians. We are Africans, but we are here in Australia as Australians.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in 2015, with like-minded people, we started the association. The rest is history.
And so it was through partially and formatively your lived experience
Correct.
as well.
Yes.
That coupled with professional experience across hospitals and prison
Prisons.
systems,
Yes.
youth justice,
Yes.
that you saw that what was happening at home was not isolated to me,
No.
but happening across the community
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
And that seek to do something about it, not
Absolutely.
just for yourself,
No.
but for everybody else out there.
Because around that time, there were not many answers. These days, you see there are a lot of programs because we are part of the organizations that have been partnered with universities for evidence-based.
Yeah.
So people can read research on how they can come up with programs, projects to help others. But around that time, there weren't many African organizations who could actually work in the mental health space.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was tough for women. I remember I worked really hard in 2013 at Dandenong Magistrate Court. Every Friday, I could be in the children's court, supporting the mothers who had so many questions without answers. Going to Parkville. Goodness me, I still go to Parkville even now, telling you that I was just coming from Parkville supporting the young people.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Yeah.
So this has been like a snowball, yeah? Looking for means and ways how we can support the African people to settle in Australia positively, because it's very difficult. Challenging moments, they do arise from settlement challenges. There are so many. Trauma from the country of origin, people running
Yeah.
from wars,
Yeah.
hunger, and when they come here, language barrier, intergenerational conflict, intergenerational trauma with our children, racism, yeah?
Of
And
course.
how about unemployment, underemployment, drug and alcohol, people dying to suicide, people in psych wards, overrepresentation of young people in jails? The list goes on. So, yes, something needed to be done. And I'm glad, amongst other organizations, African organizations, who are working in this area, we haven't stopped, and we will not stop, because we see results.
Yeah.
We see young people, those who are willing to change and they can listen, they are actually changing.
What change do you see when young people go through your programs? Because I know there's so much that you do, right? From mental health counseling to sport programs in soccer, basketball, but also through basic connection and you're saying gardening.
Yes.
And just bringing people together in a safe place, but with the guidance of somebody with your wisdom
Absolutely.
as well.
So I'll take you back a little bit.
Please.
When we were working with young people in 2015, when we opened the organization, it was more youth-oriented, supporting youth at risk and
Yeah.
their families. So we could support young people who were going to court, being at court with them, looking for lawyers for them, and writing letters of support, and sometimes giving evidence in court
Yeah.
about the child. So we saw young people started doing well. But the gap now was, we are supporting the young people now. What happens if they go home? So we continue to support them whilst thinking about what is going at home. That's when we started basketball.
Yeah.
Black Rhinos Basketball was founded in 2017. We launched, I think, 20th of March. It was a beautiful day. We had magistrates, we had police commissioners, Mayor for Dandenong,
Yeah.
MPs. It was just a beautiful day.
Yeah.
So we launched the basketball. What we actually named it was crime prevention through basketball. People didn't understand because around that time there was a lot of young people who were actually getting themselves engaged with antisocial behaviors.
Yeah.
But we saw when we diverted them to basketball, those who were willing and listened, they stopped whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
So basketball, we did well. Now, going back to what I was saying, yes, we have helped the young person, basketball, finding them jobs, counseling them. But what will happen when they go home?
Yeah.
Remember, I have to tell you, in Africa, I don't know about your culture, but we were taught not to spare a child when they do something wrong. You'll be smacked.
Right.
But here,
yeah.
the laws are different. It's said when you are in Rome, do as Romans do. So a young person doing something wrong, they are going to court, you can't smack them. But do you know what happens? Words that come from the mouth of the mother, I call it venom, destroys a child. Even worse, psychological abuse. So in order to help the mothers to understand the children who were or are doing wrong things, we started a mothers group called Ubuntu, Empowering African Mothers, Ubuntu in Practice. Luckily enough, we're funded by the Department of Justice, working with Melbourne University, co-design project for 3 years. We did this project with Mamadou Afro. Maybe I'll ask you to interview Mamadou as well.
Please, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So we did that project for 3 years. Through that project, we have helped nearly 300 women. Employment, English, family violence, homelessness, doing intensive case management. Young families who have cases with child protection, or they have young people in jails. Supporting them to look at the children, not concentrating on what they are doing, but where things went wrong and how they can correct it.
Yeah.
This is where we started working deeply, with Mamadou on Ubuntu practice. What is Ubuntu? In Africa, they say, I am because we are or you are. But at Afri Aus-Care, listen to me very carefully, we say, I am because we are all equal. But what differentiates us is the availability of opportunities. If you don't have opportunities, forget about it.
Yeah.
You can go down the drain. So we started finding opportunities for the mamas. English class, employment, prior learning, getting certificates, diplomas, working, mostly helping to understand their children that they are also human beings. They are also going through settlement challenges. So instead of being so angry with a child, be with them. I tell you what, our women, including myself, we are enjoying having our children. Whilst I know there are some parents, they say, I don't want that child at home.
Right.
Because, when children start doing wrong things, you become a shame in the community, right?
Okay.
But if you help that mother to understand the child and you bring them together, simply like a restorative justice within the family, So you understand what the child is going through. If they did something wrong, the mother as well, you put them together, and they start moving along perfectly well. So
harmony.
that's the mothers group. Then working with the mothers, yes, we worked with youth basketball, soccer. They also do social night on Wednesday nights. You need to come on a Wednesday night. I think we did invite you to come to a social night.
I
on a
think it was
Wednesday night.
cancelled that night.
Or because of the tragedy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But working with mothers, we discovered that they are young people. Yeah, the young persons. So before they go into these other stuff that youth are doing, what do? It's supporting them. So we call this young group Ubuntu Junior Ambassadors. So let me go back. We have divided our groups. We have divided the programs into groups so that when I'm explaining to people, people can understand right?
Yeah.
So we started with the basketball. Now we do have soccer. These are called Ubuntu Youth Ambassadors. Why ambassadors?
Yeah.
An ambassador is someone very important. Well, you don't have to wait for someone to call you an ambassador. You have to, spoken words, yeah?
Yeah.
I am an ambassador. So these young people, they actually feel that they are very important. Hence, ambassadors.
Yeah.
So Ubuntu Youth Ambassadors. So these are the basketballs, the soccer people, the social night people, yeah? Then we have Ubuntu Senior Ambassadors. These are now the mothers.
Aha.
From
Senior
35
ambassadors, yeah.
onwards. Yeah. The Ubuntu Youth Ambassadors, they are from 17 years of age to whatever a person feel like they are youth. They can be 45. If they want to consider themselves youth, they will go in this group of young people.
Yeah.
Then the Ubuntu Senior Ambassadors, the mothers, right?
Yeah.
What do we do with these women? They come to the center every Wednesday, every Thursday. On a Wednesday, they will be supported with English. And they do some cooking, they do some gardening. By the way, we are going to revamp the garden soon. It's a story for another day. And on a Thursday, they come again, cooking, gardening, social talks. Yeah, it's like back home in Africa, people would meet and sit under the tree. They talk. Sometimes you go to the chief. We don't have chiefs here, so we created our own village where women they sit in the garden, where they will be talking, supporting each other. We now have become counselors of each other. It's like, are you facing this? Oh, I went through the same, because that's what we use when we are talking about Ubuntu. It's about storytelling. When you're telling a story, it means you are sharing lived experiences. Remember,
Yeah.
a problem shared is halfway solved.
Yes.
It's very true.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's what the mothers do. And they are working, they are happy. It's just a beautiful environment.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
also, on a Wednesday and Thursday, we do invite government officials like ministers, MPs,
yeah.
who want to come and chat with the African people.
Yes. Yes.
We do get stakeholders, people from Rotary Club, Leadership Victoria, Victoria Police. I can mention a lot of stakeholders, yeah? Seed of Dandenong mayors, they have come and seen us. So it's just a beautiful environment whereby if people want to experience Africa within Australia,
Yeah.
there is a village in Springvale South.
Yeah.
So these are the Ubuntu Senior Ambassadors. And we are well known by the way we cook nice food, by the way. You missed out that day.
Yeah.
Then we do have the junior ambassadors, yeah? The young people, the kids, 16 under. On a day like now, they are still at the center. So they come at 2 o'clock, play basketball at a nearby sports center.
Yeah.
Then they'll go in a class, mathematics, English. After that, maybe gardening or cooking. And the mothers, yeah, they will be either barbecue, or cooking rice or what, and then the kids, they'll come and eat.
Yeah.
Then after that, they'll go in the grounds, and playing. Do you know what that does? Kids from different parts of Africa, they meet, they mingle, and their mothers are being taught Ubuntu values. These kids are growing up without any issues or antisocial behaviors.
Yeah.
Then there is another group. This is the diversion program. Young people who are actually in contact with the justice system.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
We do help them whilst they are in custody, like where I'm coming
From today.
today, or when they are at court. So we do categorize them this way. You need to listen to me very carefully. Because we do have many programs, when we categorize them, and there's members of staff, volunteers working, the work gets divided so beautifully and there's no issues at all. So with this group, the diversion program, we start with the young people. I'll start with the young people, primary intervention. So these are the kids, the Ubuntu Junior Ambassadors. They haven't done anything. They don't even know that being in contact with the police, what it is. No, they are just at home enjoying with mom who is actually knowing the importance of raising a child in Australia, and they are getting on well. We call it primary intervention. But if a young person is going to court, has been in the presence of the police,
Yes.
we call that prehabilitation. It means they will go to court. If they are going to court, we need to find a lawyer.
Yes.
So luckily enough, one of our board members, Daniel Ajak, he's a criminal lawyer.
Yes.
Do you know the beauty part about it? I can call Daniel at 12 midnight. He'll pick up a phone and say, I've got court tomorrow. He'll send a lawyer.
Wow.
I don't even know how I can express it. So that group is called Prehabilitation. You are supporting these young people. They are going to court.
Yes.
And you go with them to court.
Yeah.
You write a support letter. And if there is need to give evidence in court, you give evidence. Because you know the child. You know the young person.
Yeah, of course.
But also what we do in this prehabilitation journey is to work with the child and their significant other. Because when some young people, when they go to court, they don't get welcomed at home.
They don't get welcomed at home.
At home.
They're ostracized.
Yes.
They're pushed out.
Exactly.
Okay.
Some, not all.
Yes.
So what we do is to work with the significant others and families to make them understand that, yes, the mistake has happened.
Yeah.
But where do we meet? Because as a human being, there is nothing that is more painful than to someone to deny you.
Yes.
It's very painful.
Yes. Yes, of course.
So how about if you are denied by your own significant other, your own mother? Then it will just exacerbate the antisocial behavior. So that's what we do. And we have seen great changes. There were young people who would have gone to jail. We have helped them. They have their own businesses. Some of them doing much, much better than myself. But that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Then rehabilitation. The rehabilitation part is working with young people who are in jail.
Yes. Yeah.
Because when you go there, you start preparing them that when you go out, just know that there is support. We are supporting you here, so we do professional visits. Like where I'm coming from today, at Parkville Youth Justice, you start engaging with the young people there. And when they come out, well, you go with them to court as well, supporting them with their family, connecting them with employment, school, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And if they're in connection with the child protection, make sure that you are helping the mother as well, so that there is no complications. So these are some of the programs, the way we run our programs at Afri Aus-Care. Seems like a little bit complicated.
No, it isn't.
It isn't? Oh. Did you say?
You do so much for the community because you've identified from the very beginning through the entire process.
Yes.
And intergenerational.
Absolutely.
As well.
Absolutely.
Right, because you've lived through it.
Yes.
And you've visualized and you've experienced and you've seen in the community.
Yes.
Just the depth of all of the expressions of settlement issues, but
Yes.
settlement that has also gone right.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
And so you've systematized the support and the programs to support African Australian people.
Absolutely. And mind you, we also support people from other code backgrounds. Yes,
Yeah.
we do. If they come, we can't say no. We support them.
What I found fascinating when you were talking about when young people do something wrong, that there's not just a slap in the wrist, but it was like a caning or like a not I say caning, but like it's the punishment from parents is strong-handed.
Yeah,
as well.
Back then,
back
in our country.
Yeah, back in Africa.
You can't do it here.
Yeah.
You'll be reported to the police.
How else is culture so starkly different from Africa and then settling in Australia when you realize, oh, we can't do that anymore, or actually they don't do that here? What other times have you had those thoughts bubble up?
You get frustrated. You feel like if I can't punch this child who is naughty, how are they going to listen to me?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it requires a parent to be parallel with the child, to understand each other. I remember when I'm doing counseling,
Yeah.
if there is issues that are so severe in the family, I always ask the parent that, do you want to be here talking down upon your child who will not listen and they will go away? Or you want to be at the same level to understand the issues, why they are behaving like that, and then you get them to your side? I remember I used to say, no, there is no way I can do that. That was me then. But when this is now talking about myself,
Yeah.
but when I started putting myself parallel with my daughter, she does something wrong, I'll listen. I'll not shout.
Yeah.
We'll have food on the table. We'll eat, we'll discuss. Maybe I'll wait until tomorrow when the anger has gone down, right?
Subsided, yeah.
And you see that there's no much issues. So yes, you feel the pain because back home it's something wrong, you slap, sometimes don't give them food, but here they will report you that it's an abuse. I said before, when you are in Rome, do as Romans do. But to tell you the truth, the way I see things, if you take your child as your friend without too much punishment and they listen to you, it's a win-win situation because the child will not have psychological problems. Because at home, if your mom slaps you, you go to uncle, and then uncle, auntie will help you. They'll come and speak with your parent.
Yeah.
Here, where do you go? Your friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what do the friends say? Just a cigarette here, alcohol here. That's the difference.
Yes.
So that's why I tell parents, please try to be gentle with your children. And those who practice this, it does help. We call it the positive change model.
Yes.
Whereby if someone does something wrong, don't focus on what they have done. Focus on the best things that person did. And try to amend the relationship, amend the situation. Once you do that, you see that you move on better. But if you resent someone,
Yeah.
and you start thinking it over and over, serotonin goes down in your brain, depression, anxiety, all this. Who suffers? You are the one who hate that person. But with the positive change model, it's just so beautiful. Like now, I don't hate anyone. I know people hate me out there. I understand. Some, they actually come and tell me, but
Yeah,
I
right.
don't hate them at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
In my heart, I don't have any room to hate anyone because I know what I do is genuine.
Yes. Yes.
When I was suffering, when I was a laughing stock in my own community, the pain was real. And I wouldn't like that one to happen to another person. And that's why sometimes I wake day and night. I told you I was doing counseling before, up to 12 midnight.
Yeah.
I've counseled people in London.
Yeah.
Yes, calling me. This is what I'm facing. People in my country. I counsel people online. Time at night, it's just a time. But if you miss that time not talking to that person when they are really down, you could be the last person before they lose their life. That's why I always say my phone is on. I'll wake up, go have a cup of water. We'll talk, and I'll pray for them if they are praying. I don't force people to my faith. I
Yes.
don't do that.
Yeah.
I respect people. I tell them what my faith is. I believe in God. I follow Jesus Christ. And that's me.
Yes.
So if they are Christians, I'll tell them, can I pray for you? If they are not, I've got so many Muslim friends. I do tell them, pray what you believe in.
Yeah.
But make sure you are more important.
Yeah.
You are
Yeah.
on earth for a purpose. You need to practice that purpose. Because every problem is there, but time will definitely come that problem will go.
Yeah. So it's fascinating you describe this behavioral change model, this cultural change
Yes.
model, right? But it's not easy to change behaviors and cultures that have been deep-seated within us, but also from our ancestors
Yes.
as well. What tricks have you learnt to help and change people's behavior for the positive outcomes that you've been able to achieve at mass?
If you want people to change, you better be an example.
Yeah.
There are people who say, I do this, I do this, I do that. Deep down, they don't do it. You understand?
Yeah.
So if you are a living example, people change themselves. The people who hate me with a passion, I see them, I greet them. If they need help, I'll help them.
Why does somebody like you have haters? Why were you a laughingstock of your community?
It's because I had mental illness and my marriage was breaking down.
Right.
And my daughter was going through off the rails.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But through the work that you did, through the hard work that you did to recover your
Right now,
relationship.
I don't care what people say about me. I just make sure that if there's someone who needs help, I'll run and help. And I tell you what, if you are genuine in what you do, if you support others, it's a healing process. And along supporting other people, that's when you find true friends. I've got so many sisters now, so many brothers, so many children. It's so funny because young people say, Mama Selba, and someone will ask, is that your daughter? I said, yes, one of many, because they're in hundreds.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think they're still laughing at me anymore. I don't think they can. They don't have any reason to laugh at me. I had to find my niche by using my own problems. I tell people, when you are deep down in problems,
Yeah.
take your problem to help another person. Together, you'll be strong, you will heal. Like the mothers group now, we are so many, and together we heal every day.
But it's through service then that you are helping another, but I sense that you're saying you're healing yourself.
Absolutely.
By doing good, by spreading good.
When I was still with my ex-husband, I used to have heart palpitations, passing out. I'm telling you. Now, no. People get scared thinking, oh, if I leave, oh, maybe all this. I was the same. Family abuse. And I always say, if this man didn't leave, I would have been still there, or I would have been dead. I used to weigh 100 kilograms.
Yeah.
But now I exercise, I eat well. By the way, I am, this is what, November, December, January, February, March, April. In 5 months, I'll turn 62.
Wow. Yeah.
But biologically, I'm 59. On the passport, I'm 59. Oh, gosh.
What's the reason for that?
You know, back home, there was this, you know what, you need to reduce your age by 1 year. You know, I had it because I would have been retiring soon. But
Yeah. Yeah.
so I'm over 60. I feel 49. Sometimes I feel 18 when I'm with the young people.
Yeah.
When I'm with the kids, I'll feel like I'm 7 years old. And always laughing. I'm always laughing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other thing I have to tell you, depression is inevitable. Everyone can have depression at any time. I've had depressive episodes
Yeah.
whilst working.
Yeah, right.
Do I stop working? I would be crying at night. I'll go to work. I'll support someone who wanted to kill themselves, and I see them getting better. Do you know what means then? That depression doesn't get prolonged. You get well. But people, when they're in problems, they will start blaming the person who is causing problem to them, all this, all that. Days, weeks, months, then you stop going to work. You can't cope.
Yeah.
Not even a single day when I have said I'm not going to work. No?
So how do you support people who are in the midst of the worst time in their life, where they're thinking of ending it all? What do you do, and what mechanisms do you support them that allows them to continue hope, to think that life is worth living?
Diligently listening to the person's story.
Yeah.
Non-judgmental. You let them talk, you paraphrase. You said this, you said that, and let them go on. If they are crying, you tell them, it's okay, you can cry.
Yeah.
But take a deep breath, count 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
and then exhale. Do it again like a distraction technique.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do it again. I'm listening, and they will tell you the whole story. And then I would say, you are not alone. Can I tell you what I went through? Then they'll start listening.
Yeah.
Each time I have shared my story, I haven't said it in details here,
Yeah, that's okay.
but each time I've shared my story, do you know what people go, huh? You? I said, why are you saying, you look like someone who is very courageous, you're very intelligent. I said, I wasn't like this. No. Not at all. Someone who was behind psychiatric unit. I've been in seclusion. Do you know what seclusion is?
I can imagine you were removed from the rest of the population, right? Or was it self-removed?
You are wrong. I'll teach you today.
Please.
So on a psych unit, there is a place where everyone else, all the patients, so they could be like, for instance, if it was a psychiatric unit,
Yes.
they'll have doors, everyone else will have their room, sometimes shared, depending on the hospital.
Yes.
But when you are acutely ill, they take you to high dependency unit.
Right.
So you go and then they shut the door. So you are in a confined place. But when you are acute, then they take and lock you up in seclusion. I've been in seclusion before, where I was given an injection to sleep.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So when I tell people in details what I went through, Liam, they always say, not you. I said, what? I've had people from the psychiatric unit coming with their case managers. I'll listen to the story and I'll just say, you're not alone. I've been on a psych ward too. No, not you. I said, I have. But when I started helping people 2018, 2015, that's when we started. When I started doing deep case management, supporting people, counseling people, haven't looked back. But also, remember what we were discussing before. My master, Jesus. I meet him 12 midnight, 3 a.m., I'll pray.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's about not doing bad into others. Treat others in the same way you would love to be treated.
The golden rule, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And once you do that, Liam, if they continue to torment you, you tell yourself, I've forgiven you.
Yeah.
And you move on. Instead of sitting down and thinking and planning or going to another person. I did that before. Someone, talk about this. I'll be thinking, how can I give this person back? But these days, I just listen and I move on.
But it's through your model of inspiring people. You listen.
Yes.
You share your story.
Yes.
And then they see you as Selba, this leader.
Yes.
And they thought, wow, she went through that as well. I'm not alone. Yeah. But it's not just your speech, but your actions and everything else that you are.
Absolutely.
Which comes to me as you're the living expression of Ubuntu.
Exactly.
Right? I am because you are. I am because we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Storytelling, sharing stories, very powerful.
Yeah. And so, young people living and becoming the ambassadors of Ubuntu, how would you like the rest of the Australian population or my community or other communities to know about the African Australian community? What should they know about you, about Ubuntu? How can they learn more? Because it's a beautiful philosophy.
Be themselves. Don't imitate what other people are doing.
Yeah.
Love another person in the same way you would like, or like someone in the same way you would like them. Treat someone, I would say, that's the right word. Treat someone in the very same way you would like them to treat you.
Yeah.
And how people can learn about this beautiful Ubuntu philosophy, honestly, it's about collectivism, not individualism at all. So wherever you go, share, smile. How can I help? Someone really telling you other things that will actually make you angry? Be slow to anger. And sometimes, you remember how it is said, silence is golden. I've learned, but too late. Because I used to jump into like, why are they saying about this or that? No. Remember to be silent and also forgive those who have trespassed against you.
Yeah.
Remember to share. And if there is an issue, don't go and make that issue worse. You know how there are some people when there is an issue, they will go, you know what, Liam? Hey, this one, yeah. How about, can we gang up against them? No, no, no,
Revenge,
no, no.
yeah.
Ubuntu, you don't do that.
Yeah.
No revenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just go with the flow. Try to do good. When you do good, the same goodness will follow you.
But the collectivism versus the individualism, it's different systems of living in society. In Vietnam, where my family are from, collectivist society. We live in
Yes.
multi-generational homes.
Yes.
Similar, I'm guessing similar with the African continent as well. You
Absolutely.
all stay with grandmother, with uncles, aunties, daughters, sons,
Yes.
all in the same multi-generational
Yes.
household, right? But in Australia and the Western world, it's different. How do you bridge that gap between the two worlds that we're straddling? Then for young people, they're living in two worlds. At home, they're living in an African home with African values, Ubuntu. But they're pushed out into society. It's every man for himself, every woman for themselves, right?
This is why paying attention to family values is very important.
Yeah.
If a child is doing something wrong, don't push them out. Goodness me.
Yeah.
Treat them with care and love. If we came from a society where Ubuntu was practiced, we should not put it through the window because we are busy with work or what. No, our children should learn from us. Once they will learn from us, they will teach their own children.
Yeah.
And they will also live well with their friends as well.
Yeah.
That way, you can balance the two worlds. Because our kids are being taught about, what do I say? There is a way I always forget. Oh, my goodness. What do they say? I always say without responsibility.
With great power comes responsibility.
No.
Spider-Man.
I always forget, but it's so simple. They are given rights without responsibilities.
They're giving rights
Right.
without
So
responsibilities.
you have the right to do this. You have the right to do this.
Yes, yes.
Are they taught about the consequences of those rights?
I guess not.
No, not in most cases.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's about balancing. The kids, they need to have rights. Of course, we are living in this world. They need this part of the world. They need to have the rights. But how can they balance those rights if you understand each other with that child? Otherwise, they will use their rights against you, a parent.
It's true. You see it, right? You see young children swearing at their parents.
Yeah, I never did that. Oh my goodness, I
Of
can't
course
even
not.
dream about it.
But in your culture and in my culture,
Exactly.
they get slapped and
Yes. But
you
you
abuse
need,
the rights, and then you'll
Yeah.
face the consequences.
you need first to respect that child who has got rights because their brain, they are developing. You understand?
Yeah.
So someone's brain is developing, they have got all these rights, they think like they're Spider-Man. Don't go there and say you are not Spider-Man. Just say, yes,
Yeah.
I know you can do this. How about if we can do this? Or tell a story.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And you will find that our community center, we always share food. Wherever there is food, you can share a story. That story will be heard. Like where I was when I share food with the boys. Oh, my goodness. Sometimes I wish I could take them home.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the circumstances, what they are in there, it's like, But during that time when you're sharing food, everyone else is just great child. So I always tell the moms, like one mom I actually told her, she said, my son has gone to jail again. When he comes, he will know me better. I said, sister, take a deep breath. When he comes out, cook the best food. Sit down.
Yeah.
My son, what went wrong?
Yeah.
What can we do better? And that boy has never gone to prison again.
Yeah.
The mom is happy, not angry.
Yeah.
So balancing the two worlds, as you are seeing, is
Yeah.
to understand where you are at. No hierarchy. Because these kids, definitely they will challenge us. I've got the right. I want to go out tonight. You can't tell me. Go, be safe, call me. Because if you tell them don't go, do you know what they do? They'll go and switch the phone off.
They'll sneak out. Yeah. Yeah.
But if you say, yes, you can, or you're going to the city, who are you going with? Can you give me the phone number of your friend and make sure that your friend comes here next time so I see them? In case your phone battery is not working, I can reach out to your friend. You know, you build that trust with your child.
That's wisdom.
Yes.
That's wisdom right there. All right. But through African cultures and other cultures, the practice of polygamy, does that happen in Australia, in your community?
Firstly, I'll tell you that in my culture, we don't practice polygamy. So
Sure. Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to answer that question.
That's okay. That's okay. And look, I can feel your energy changing, right? When you walked through the door, you had spent hours this morning with young people, and you're a bit lackluster. But as you continue to speak about your work and the people that inspire you and the work that you do, I've just seen an explosion of energy, Selba, from yourself. It's very inspiring to see.
I love what I do.
Yeah.
So it's like refueling, yeah? It's like I've just taken a black coffee. Because it's something that I like to do. No one forces me to do what I do.
Of course.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
On a Sunday like this, people are enjoying. No. For me, Sunday, I'll go and be with those who are not happy. And after that, I'll go to be with the little ones. Some of them, they don't even have that care at home.
Yeah.
Go with those little ones. If there's no care, then we have to correct how they can treat their children.
Yeah.
That's what gives me happiness. And also seeing people like Mamouche. I'm happy that Mamouche was here. I
yes.
mentored Mamouche.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me, when did you first meet him? What was your first experience with young Mamouche?
I saw someone who is very intelligent, and I knew that he was going to places. That's why I did not hesitate to help him.
Yeah. 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 And how have you seen his growth through the years?
Massive.
Yeah.
He's doing well,
And he learns quickly, doesn't he?
and I wish him well.
Yeah.
We are together on a South Sudanese youth advisory group. So I see him once, maybe in 2 months. Yeah.
What does he call you? Does he call you Mama Selba?
Of course, yes. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I told you, I'm nearly 61.
Yeah.
So,
What other names have you been given? throughout your life?
Auntie.
Auntie, yes.
Mama Selba. With my age, sometimes when I'm with young women and they have children, I call myself grandmother. Yes, grandmother Selba.
Yeah.
And the kids will say, Grandma, how are you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. This weekend there's an African music festival on.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. What I love about African dance and different rhythms is rhythm seems like it's part of the DNA
Yes.
of the continent.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And the expressions of the art form through many different ways. So as sad as slave trade has gone to the Americas, right? But the expression of rap and hip hop to express struggles, joys, thrills in everyday life. What does hip hop mean to you?
I don't know with my age, no. I don't know. I just know that it's people, young people, they sing,
Yeah.
they are happy or they rap. if you want to know about music for me, ask me about hymns.
Please tell me. Yeah.
It's Christian songs,
Yeah.
hymns,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
where you praise God through singing.
And what do you feel when you sing and when you
Very
sing your
happy,
hymns? Yeah.
very happy.
Yeah.
It's like when we were doing meditation, I see that divine connection with God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. How lovely. How incredible. Do you do art programs at Afri Aus-Care?
Sometimes, but I've got women from Mauritius. I think we'll start doing them on. She's so talented, this lady.
Yeah.
We'll start doing art and craft on Fridays.
Yeah. Yeah. Selba, I can talk to you for hours, and I think you've got stories for days and days and days
I
and
know.
days.
I know. The one thing that I didn't talk, I'm very proud of my daughter,
Yes,
Kwacha.
please.
We have gone through a lot
Yeah.
together. And everything that I was explaining here about taking your child as your friend, I practiced and I still practice.
Yeah.
There was a day something went wrong when she was living at home. She shouted at me. I didn't say anything. You know, the kids with rights, right? And I left home. I said goodbye. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
2 minutes into my driving, she called me. Mom, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to shout back. I told her, gone are the days. I'll never shout at
Wow.
you.
Yeah.
And I've never shouted at my daughter. If she does something wrong, I'll tell her, maybe we can talk tomorrow. So now she has studied counseling. She has studied community service. She has studied fashion design and merchandise. You know, she's a fashion designer. She uses her counseling experience wisely. And where she feels like she cannot go on, she'll call me. It's like, Mom, there's someone who needs your help. And the best thing is, she's my best friend ever.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
cannot trade her with anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember, there was intergenerational conflict and intergenerational trauma. When I started practicing Ubuntu values, seeing my daughter as my friend, no shouting, no nothing. Misunderstandings are inevitable. We do have misunderstandings, but I have to be a bigger person to tell her, how about we talk tomorrow?
But it's also doing what Romans do when in Rome, right?
Yes.
But it's the values potentially of Western culture where you're reducing that power distance between your kids rather than
Absolutely.
in Vietnam or in Africa where
Absolutely.
the hierarchy, it's like, hey, you know who's boss here. It's not you. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you reduce that gap, everyone is the winner. The child is the winner, you are the winner. And the other thing that I can talk is about staff at Afri Aus-Care. I've been blessed because the staff are very nice people.
Yeah.
And I think because we practice Ubuntu, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when we are there, we are family. Family, busy doing case management, NDIS, very busy. You see this one is doing that and doing that. But there is always respect within ourselves. When the mamas are there, do you know what I told them? When I'm here, I'm not a chief executive officer. Please, I'll be chief executive officer when I'm maybe at a government meeting, stakeholder meeting.
Yeah.
But when I'm at the center, I'm a sister. Where is the sister Selba? That's it.
Yeah.
And I don't like them to introduce me to people that, oh, our boss has said, yeah,
Boss lady.
what are you talking about? I'm your sister.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when it's like that, you are equal in the very same way I feel equal with my daughter. And I tell you, people always tell me, who is your counselor? I said, my daughter. So when I have other stuff, apart from my master, God, of course. But I always confide in my daughter. I said, I think things are not going well here. Believe you me, Liam, she counsels me perfectly well.
Yeah.
Why? Because we are friends.
Yeah.
She feels free to tell me, Mom, you are wrong. You see, when there is a hierarchy, can a child tell?
Hey, no way.
No, you can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes you now be doing something wrong, of which, if your child intervened, things wouldn't have gone wrong. And one other thing I like about my work is working with universities. Because what we do at Afri Aus-Care, all these Ubuntu values,
Yeah.
they need to have evidence-based. So we have worked with Melbourne University, Monash, Deakin University, Swinburne in the past,
Yeah.
Federation University, RMIT.
Yeah.
We have heaps of evidence-based materials.
So what does the evidence tell you about your programs? In a quick snapshot, Ubuntu works, doesn't it?
Ubuntu works and it's effective.
Yeah.
That's it.
So 15 years, or so 2015 was when you started operations.
Correct.
How many people have you supported? Just throw some numbers at me before we wrap up.
In a year, our annual report last year, I think we saw 400 people. I think this year it will be more. During the pandemic, we supported people because we were distributing food. We had so many numbers.
You don't have to.
10 times 400 is what? Close to 4,000.
Yeah. 4,000 individual lives impacted, and the ripple effect in families as well.
This is at international level as well. I do counsel people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Overseas.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a fun little bit of Ubuntu, spice, the positive change model.
Yeah.
I see people laughing.
I am because we are.
Yes.
Or I am because we are equal.
We are equal. What differentiates us? The availability of opportunities. What does Selba do? She goes, looks for those opportunities and throw them on people like Mamouche. How cool is that?
That's real cool.
Abraham,
Yes.
Anish,
Yes.
just to mention a few.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I've given people platforms where they are flourishing now. And when I see a young person doing better, it makes me very, very, very happy.
It makes society better.
Yes,
Makes us all better.
exactly. So now Mamouche has taken off. He's a leader. Beautiful. He will continue to mentor others as well.
Yeah.
And what does that means in the African community or Australian community? A lot of young people who have got positive thinking, they will continue supporting others to be positive as well. Hence, reducing antisocial behaviors. Because they will look up to young person like Abraham, like, this boy is a leader. He's studying PhD. Really? I want to be like him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's empowering these young people so that they can continue to empower others. One day, I'll be 90 years old. One day, I'll be 100. Mind you, I'll still be doing counseling. But I would not run around the way I do.
Yeah. Of
So
course.
it's better to start preparing these young people.
Yeah.
That's why when Mamouche came, I need help with this. I did not hesitate.
Yes.
Anish, Abraham, myself, we sat down with him.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
do this, do this, do this, do that, do that. He listened. The boy is brilliant. Because other boys have come wanting help.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, what do you want help with? Bring me a piece of paper, write some substance.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
I'll tell you that you need to take this off, you need to add this, and then we'll continue to support you like this. Mamush did everything.
Yeah. I'm very happy to hear.
Yes,
Very, very happy to hear.
absolutely.
Selba, thank you so much for your time and your generosity in wisdom and in thought
you.
and in vulnerability and sharing your story as well.
You know what I have forgotten to say? You're going to edit, don't worry. What I have forgotten to say is, from the humble beginnings where I was a laughing stock by people from my community, to now having multiple awards
Yeah.
recognized, by the government, but also the young people, the Amari Gara. They gave me an award, Amari Icon.
Voted by the young people as
Yes!
the icon.
You know,
You're the icon.
I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
The first Amari Gala,
Yeah. Yeah.
the icon, Amari icon. They said, Mama Selba. We couldn't think of anyone else. This was national, the whole Australia.
Oh,
We
really?
couldn't think of anything else but you.
Yeah.
I felt humbled. What I wanted to crown it all is, let the problems solve other people's problems, and the puzzles will just be joining together.
Can you say that again? Let the problems be other people's problems?
Let your problems
Yeah.
solve other people's problems.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
In return, the puzzles will be joining together, puzzle pieces. And then the full picture will come out.
Yeah.
People start thinking, talking positively about the African people. It pains me when they say African, African, African. Yes, there are problems. There are bad apples out there. But we do have clever young people. My daughter Kwacha, Abraham, Mamuch, and Anish is Indian, but that's fine.
Yeah.
He's the African Indian. I always joke with him that you are African
honorary
Indian.
African.
Yes, of course, of course. There are so many young people who are clever out there. So, yeah, bad apples will be there, but let's support them. I love to be in Australia, and I'm asking God to give me intuition, wisdom, and vision so I can continue to think, put programs innovatively. I've got so many programs that are running in my head.
You're cooking a lot.
Yep, innovatively.
Yeah.
And I will devote myself to continue helping the African youth and their mothers.
It's your life's work.
Yes.
It keeps you going. Your
That's
purpose, your mission.
That's it. And just thanking everyone else who has made this possible. You can have a dream, but if you're by yourself, that dream cannot be fulfilled.
Yeah.
So as a leader, be humble, grassroots, bottom-up, strength-based. The sky is the limit.
Wow. No wonder why they voted you as an icon after sitting with you and listening to your stories.
Yes. And I will continue to support the young people. Yeah. Yes. You know, I told you about waking up at night and prayer, right?
Yeah.
When I'm thinking of new projects, I don't sleep. My mind races, and I'll have projects, programs, and then I'll be thinking of their names. This is not a dream. In real, can't sleep.
Yeah.
Like the past 2 weeks, I was thinking of programs and projects. I will not tell you. I'll tell you later. Because they are going to happen.
Wow. Yeah.
And it will just be so beautiful for the young people. And I'm so lucky to have Abraham, Anish, and Kwacha. They are my pillars. And of course, I forgot to thank the Afri Aus-Care board.
Yeah.
Very nice people. And the community at large. And the mamas. I can't do without them. And I'm thanking you, Liam, for calling me to have a talk here. As you are saying, now I feel like I cannot stop, but I have to stop because I need to go.
It's fun, isn't it? Just to
Yes.
sit down and really just share
Absolutely.
stories.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I was too tired and I was thinking, because I'm used to being interviewed by televisions, yeah? And I was thinking, yeah, this is not an issue, but I'm so tired. But now, it's the meditation. Keep it up.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of how we like to run our podcast as well.
Right.
We start with a meditation. So for the guests, you forget that the lights and the cameras are on. Even for me, just so that I could get out of my head and
Yes.
breathe alongside of you.
Yes.
Right? But
Yes.
look, we run without a time limit. I'm not interviewing you for 15 minutes and I'm on my way to go interview another person and I'm not doing that. We're not doing that, right? We're dedicating a whole day to make this happen and to really sit down and deeply listen. That's us. That's OKIRU.
And I would like to continue working with you.
Let's do it.
Yes. We'll do it.
Let's do
And
it.
you.
So Selba, when we wrap up, we like to ask our 3 questions.
Okay.
The first one is, what are you grateful for?
To tell you the truth, my life, because it's changed a lot of people's lives, including my daughter and myself.
Beautiful. The second question is, what have you realized?
In life, when things are so difficult, don't be cruel to yourself. Seek, you shall find. Go to other people who will accept you unconditionally. And also, take whatever is troubling you, take it out there and support others who are they might be in deep problems than you. That's what I've realized. Helping others brings healing.
And so the last question is, what is a question that you ask yourself?
Come on, Liam.
What is a question that you ask yourself, Selba?
It's not a question, but a comment.
Please.
I'm asking God to give me more strength, wisdom, as I've said before, intuition, so that I can think innovatively, to continue supporting others, to have a good heart, to forgive those who are trespassing against me, and to continue helping people.
Yeah.
That's it. My life evolves around helping people.
That's beautiful. So inspirational.
I don't have a question at all. No question.
And so where can people find your work then? How do people find you online?
On website, www.afriauscare.org. And LinkedIn. You see a lot of activities there.
Yeah.
There is my personal LinkedIn and Afri Aus-Care LinkedIn. We do have Facebook page and also Springvale, ADRA Springvale. I actually forgot to mention about ADRA. We work in collaboration with ADRA Victoria and Seto Assist program. we are actually doing great work supporting women who are victims of family violence. They do have a minimal financial package that we help people with.
Right.
So
Yeah.
very thankful of Adra Victoria. The director there, Rebecca Orient, she's just so good. So Facebook. We do have Instagram as well. Google Selba Gondoza-Luka. YouTube. You will find the stories that you haven't heard here. Because for me, I remember when I started talking about my journey, my lived experience journey of being in a psych ward, family violence, people used to say, why do you talk to people about this? I said, did it happen? If it happened, I'm free to say that I never know. I could save someone. 10 years down the track, I've saved a lot of people's lives because of my own story.
Yeah.
So go on Google, YouTube, you hear stories there.
Thank you so much, Selba. Thank you
That's
so much
okay.
again for coming down and sharing some of your time and passion with us.
That's okay. I thank you so much as well. And I forgot one thing. Oh my goodness. I'm thanking
All the shout outs.
I'm thanking all the funders,
The funders.
people who fund our programs.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this. We could not do without you. Thanking the volunteers at Afri Aus-Care. I'm thanking the staff and just the community at large. I love you so much. I would do anything. And lastly, my beautiful daughter, Kwacha. You are my world.
That's a beautiful note to leave it. Huh? That's all she wrote.